guys, so there has been a controversy. I don't really feel comfortable calling it a controversy. I think it's more of a discussion that has been happening over BookTube and Twitter for the last couple of days. If you do not know, there was a booktuber, Steve Donahue, who made a video about BEA and BookCon and made some very unthought out comments, and then in the comments down below made some unthought out comments about some things. And if you want to know more about that, I'm going to link RJ's The Secret Stacks video down below, and you can go check that out, and he talks more about appearances and all of that kind of thing. I'm only going to talk about that for a minute. I don't want to talk about it too long because that is not going to be the point of this video. I have a different point of this video, but I am going to say that I understand that people are upset, and I understand that some people think that he is unjustly being attacked. And I agree with both sides. I think that some people have blown this out of proportion and has turned it into hate instead of a discussion and trying to talk about this. And some people are being a little too laid back about this. They're trying to write it off as it's just a comment. It's just something that he said and has been misconstrued. Both are right. Both are right. So, the hashtag fakereadergirl has become a very big thing on Twitter, and is something that people are talking about on BookTube. And basically, what has come of that is that in a comment Steve had made, he talked about well-lit videos and makeup, and at first it came across as calling girls out about wearing makeup and not being real readers because of makeup, and then he came back and said again that he was actually talking about men, which doesn't make it any more right, which doesn't make it any more, less hurtful. It's not something that the comments didn't help each other out at all, so that is what the majority of it is about. And in his video, he talked about BEA and BookCon and unjustly popular authors and these booktubers not being real readers because of all of this stuff that's going on, all of these, going and seeing these authors and getting these arcs and just becoming, publicity people because they're promoting these books that aren't good quality. And to that, I have to say, you don't get to decide what somebody is passionate about. You don't get to decide who is popular to a specific group of people. But I'm going to move on from that and talk about how those kinds of comments are hurtful. And I think that I did watch the other video that he uploaded today, which is when I'm filming this on Thursday, that he talked about that he was sorry and that he didn't mean to offend all these people, but in the beginning of his video he prefaced that he wasn't talking to 95% of the people because of a mob mentality, and I think that that was also something that shouldn't have been said. Just because you didn't mean it that way doesn't mean that you didn't offend somebody and that you didn't hurt their feelings. And I think what we all need to take away from this is that, one, we need to always stop and think about what we say and what we're going to put on BookTube. Because I think that we as a community have, as far as my journey of only 4 or 5 months on here goes, BookTube has been a very open and heartwarming community. I've met so many nice people on here and so many encouraging people, and this is the first encounter I've had with something like this. RJ had mentioned in his video about the goal of BookTube is to celebrate reading, and I think that that's completely right. I think that we as a community come together despite the fact that we read different things and we have different preferences and we read at different speeds, and to call somebody not a reader because of something that they do outside of reading isn't relevant. I feel like this is something that we have taken and has, the comments and the discussion were irrelevant to being a reader. And I think that that's what really upset the community, is that the lighting and the makeup and the going to book cons and all of this stuff has nothing to do with being a reader. What we should take away from this hashtag fakereadergirls is that we need to find a way to bring each other up and not down. And going through these tags, I see all of these girls and guys coming around each other and lifting each other up instead of tearing each other down like those comments did on that video. And I think that that is something that mob mentality that Steve brought up, I don't think it's a mob mentality at all. I think that it's a community coming together to support each other when somebody has said something so blatantly unthought out. And even though it wasn't meant in that way, it still comes across as hurtful. We as a booktube community don't get to see each other in person, so I think that we, most of the time, I mean the book cons and stuff, all of that we go to and see, but it's mostly online. It's mostly us with a camera in a room by ourselves. I'm sitting in my bedroom by myself right now, and it's easy to distance yourself from these other people because they're not here with you and you don't get to know them as personally, but you don't get to judge them and you don't get to call them not real readers because you don't know them. You see a small portion of their lives, and I think that we need to carry, as booktubers and as a response to this, we need to carry a positive message, and we need to just put it out there that that is offensive and hurtful, and we need to strive to watch our words and to watch the content that we put out, because even though it's your opinion and it's how you feel, it still can be hurtful to others, and we need to stop and think about, is this going to be necessary? Like, do you have to put that out there? Is that really relevant to your conversation? If we just take the time to reevaluate things and to reevaluate how certain things might come across instead of just saying them as they go, then I think we will come out of this as a stronger community and as better people in general. It's hard to sit here in my room by myself talking to a camera and think about how something that I say to a camera is going to affect somebody else, but it could affect anybody. You never know who's going to watch your videos. You never know who is going to be in a place of in between. There are people who are going to watch your videos who are on the border about reading and on the border about becoming a booktuber, even doing something like this, and just sending out positive messages and being kinder in videos and in comments. I think that we can be more open and more loving as a community, and it's your opinion. You can say that if you want to be that kind of video, make a booktuber or whatever, but I think that as a whole, this hashtag, this is just bringing us to a point where we want to be better than some of these comments and things that have been made. We want to make people aware of these issues that are being brought in and that are being put out in the world, and this is just bringing us to a point where we want to be better than some of these comments and things that have been made. We want to make people aware of these issues that are being brought in and that are being put out in the world, and he makes a lot of good points about how this goes beyond just like that one comment. I think that it's something that comes across all over in all areas of our lives, but especially in booktube with this hashtag fakereadergirl, where he had mentioned a few years ago there was the fake gamer girl. I think that if we're ever going to get past this, these kind of things need to be discussed. I think that we need to sit down and talk about why these kind of comments have an adverse effect on everybody and in our everyday lives. It's not just this one comment that was made. I think that it's something that we just need to all discuss. So, what makes a reader? I don't know. I think what makes you a reader is a love of reading and a love of books and a love of words and stories and characters and all of the things that make up a book. It doesn't matter what kind of book, what the story is about, if it's a well-written story, if it's an awful story, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you can sit down and read a book and enjoy it and find something in that story that is specific and is something that's going to encourage something or make you feel better or give you a laugh or teach you a lesson. That's what being a reader is. Being a reader is, you can call yourself a reader for whatever. I mean, if you only read 2 books a year, that doesn't make you any less of a reader than somebody who reads 150 books a year. You're still a reader. You're still important. Your values and likes and books and preferences and your thoughts and opinions on them, they're all still valid. I don't know what else to say, guys. This video is going to be way too long, but I'm going to reiterate, be kind and be aware of your words and your actions and your videos and your comments, not just here on BookTube, but in your everyday life. Just be aware. I'm going to end this here, and I will see you guys with my next video. Bye!